a big United fan. Not a big talker, but watch many fan channels. Lots of discussion. And I think it's a good thing, but I also feel that as much as there is comment sections, etc., that you don't really have a voice. So therefore I feel the only way to not have right of reply, but to join the discussion is to put myself out there and make some videos myself with my points. Obviously United is a massive subject in football generally, especially in obviously England. It's either because people absolutely love the club, which there are obviously a lot, but due to past success there is a lot of people that love to hate the club, and it's a massive subject, none more so than at the minute with Ruben Amorim and the form and blah de blah. Now I think personally that things are being a bit mad. It might sound mad for me, what seems like the minority, like actually he's doing all right and to keep the faith and whatnot. Now we live in a world of instants. Videos, food, you need to get something, shopping, click delivered, and I think that doesn't help when it comes to football. Football Manager as well is another thing. Everybody, I can go and sign this person and that person, and then I can do this, and then I win the league, and blah, blah, blah. Ruben Amorim has come into what was known as a toxic environment from top to bottom. Obviously Jim's come in, again very divisive, but he has gone some way to trying to rectify a lot of the things that were wrong with the club, i.e. the complete lack of football structure for years and years, which then bred a quite frank crap culture within the players, and it was just awful, and that has resulted in a massive cycle since obviously Fergie of player power, manager sack, bring someone in. I mean, obviously the only real positive time was Ollie, and then that's just vibes, he done actually quite well, but again, lack of decision making at the top. City going to get Ronaldo, we can't let that happen, get him in, shoehorn him in, completely break down everything what Ollie done, and then Ollie gets a sack. You can't really have Ronaldo go to City, I know, but at the same time we wasn't playing the type of football for an old man to come in, because it changed completely how the team had to play, and therefore yet again the manager was the one that took the brunt, and the manager was the one that lost his job. Now if I look at it, obviously last season was horrendous, but this season there has been improvement. There has. You can just simply look at stats. I know stats don't tell you everything, but the eye test of this season as well shown that we're actually playing a lot better. We've obviously been top or near top of the majority of attacking metrics, i.e. chances created, touches in opposition box, shots, XG. The thing that hasn't happened so far is the ball hasn't gone in the net, and we've dropped points yet again. Now obviously Grimsby was horrendous, we know that, we don't need to talk about that as such, but Arsenal game, obviously we was very, very good. People are like, oh, you're celebrating a loss, but it's not celebrating a loss, it was celebrating the fact that it was definitely a lot better. Fulham again, first half especially, very, very good. Now Burnley, obviously they know they're going to be fighting to stay in the division, were defensively very good, scrappy game, but we got the win in the end. But again, in all three of those games we could have buried it. I mean, Arsenal, we should have beat them, really. By dear error, we lose the game, but we was obviously massively better than them. But this is the point. So Fulham, we should have been outside in the first half. Leno makes a hell of a save when he hits the post. And in that division, if you don't bury the game, then obviously there's a chance that the other team can come back in. They're all top level teams, top level players. But the fact is, the only thing which hadn't improved, and I know it's probably the most important, is putting the ball in the net. But we are creating a hell of a lot of chances, and if you keep doing that, then in the end they are going to go in. The ball will start going in the net, and you will start winning football matches. You can't be top of all them metrics and keep losing football matches. Obviously the flip side is there's still the lapses of judgment, individual errors, etc. But I can't see how that can be down to the manager. Case in point, Luke Shaw, pretty much at fault for all three of Manchester City's goals. I mean, the first one is horrendous. I coach my boys under 10s side. Last year when they were under 9s, I did a drill with them about defending, and bear in mind they're 8 years old at the time, telling them you can't be caught square. You can't be square. And Luke Shaw, who's supposedly an England international, top level footballer, is caught square and dangles a leg at Doku, and it's like a nothing challenge. Now there's other players around as well that should have done things better. Bruno, we know he's not a defensive midfielder, but again, error, he lets Foden run off of him. But I can't see how that is system. That can't be system. It can't be Ruben's fault. He didn't make Anana drop the ball into his own net. He didn't make Bayern not punch the corner. That Raya done the same thing and punched the corner away. Now I know that should been a foul on the goalkeeper, but again, many goalkeepers, Schmeichel would have wiped it all out. So he can't be at fault for these individuals. Luke Shaw was brought in under Louis van Gaal. He's had 5, 6 different managers. He's still doing it. He had Jose Mourinho basically coaching him through the whole game. Jose Mourinho said that he needs to coach Luke Shaw through the whole game. It cannot be Ruben Amorim. It can't be. Now, like I say, there's a lot of positives, but football is results driven, I know that. And like I say, in the world of instantaneous, everybody's like, we need to do this, and there's a lot of bashing from rival fans, and you can't take being bashed every week, I get it. But at the same time, you need to understand what he walked into. He's changed the system. Now, I know this is another thing which pisses me off, is supposedly knowledgeable pundits keep going on about system. I didn't hear them saying about system when they beat City last year at the Etihad, or when they beat Liverpool. It's only an easy stick to beat him with when we've not got results. But ultimately, if we'd have took a few more chances in them games, we could have been sat going into the City game 3 from 3. And then would they still be banging on that the system, or would they be kissing his arse saying, oh my God, he's really turned it round? So it's small details, individual errors, and they cannot be Ruben's fault. Now, I understand that coaches should be able to coach these, but he's had Louis van Gaal. Luke Shaw's had Louis van Gaal. He's had Jose Mourinho. He's had Ralph Rangnick. He's had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's had Erik ten Hag. You can't tell me that all of them coaches, with all of their knowledge of the game, I mean, Jose, serial winner. You can't tell me that Ruben's supposed to be able to coach him magically when Jose Mourinho couldn't do it. I mean, come on. Really? Now it sounds like I'm starting off on a right rant. I am starting off in a bit of a rant because I feel like there's no right to reply, which is why I've been forced to record these thoughts while I'm out walking the dog, and it's supposed to be decompressing. But again, like I say, I get it. United, you've got to put your mental health and your whole week in the hands of these lot that you can't control, and there's such a slump at the minute, and you kind of know what's going to come. But this is what I say, you've got to give him the time, you've got to give Ineos the time. You can't, Rome wasn't built in a day. They can't change the whole club the last 10 odd years instantly. It doesn't work like that. I'd love it if it did, but it doesn't. Like I say, there's been crap mentalities allowed to fester, crap players brought in on long contracts that you can't get out the door, just box standard rubbish, like they wouldn't. So in the days of David Gill and Alex Ferguson, they brought in some crap, they did. Jemba, the Bebes, the Taibis, they did bring in crap, but the difference is that they got them out. They got them out when they realised they were crap, and that hasn't happened. And we've ended up with mediocre players on big money sitting there doing the same shit week in, week out that they can't get rid of, and they haven't been able to get out the door. And then you wonder why results haven't been the way they are. I mean, Lindelof, Dalot, these are mid-table level players that have somehow got in there and have stayed in there. That's the difference. And this is what Ineos, Barada, Wilcox, Amorim, they've all got to deal with 10 years of that crap. And you think within a few months he's supposed to wave a magic wand and then get it all fixed, and then you say, it's the system. So what was it? Was it the system when Erik ten Hag was there and they were shite? Was that the system? Are these not professional footballers? You're telling me that they don't know they can only play one set system? Well, so if they go to another club, they can only go to a club that plays one set system. It's bollocks. It's a load of bollocks. And like I say, these pundits keep jumping on it, and it's United is big news, draws in lots of clicks, bloody blah, lots of hype, and it's an easy thing to say, and it's bollocks. So I guess ultimately I'd like to just cut through the bollocks and just talk sort of level, really. I mean, you've got to talk in facts again, as I said. For all the chances they created and all that, Amorim can't put the ball in the net. We've had to rely last year on obviously the likes of Garnacho and alike, and he missed a lot of chances, and when he didn't miss a chance, he failed to make the right chance for other players. That's not Ruben. He can't do. He can only set them out in a certain way, but you can't make them not make a mistake. You can't make them switch. You can't make Dallo not switch off at the back post all the time. He can't. So this is what I mean. It's gonna take time. We can't get 22 players out the door and 22 new ones in and just flick a switch. It doesn't work like that. Now, we've obviously needed the top end of the pitch, so they've gone out and they've done it, and we're seeing results, albeit the ball hasn't gone in the net. Now, that might just be we're in that bad luck, that rut of bad luck. Flip side is Liverpool. They've been shite every single game, but they've had things go for them. And now, if they hadn't had that rub of the green, they could have been sat there the same as us. I mean, Hannibal deciding to give him a penalty in the last minute, a 16-year-old kid in the last minute against 10 men. They're just in that zone where they're getting things fall for them, and we're in the opposite. But if they hadn't had them things fall for them, would it then be, this lot system shit, he's got to leave? That's mental. So I don't understand why it comes to United and he's trying to change. I know he's changed the system, but he's explained many times that it's not set in the way that the pundits are trying to make out. The players can adapt it and should be able to adapt it, because they're supposed to be flipping Premier League footballers, international players. Now, if they can't do that, then that's not on the manager, that's on them. Like I say, he's delivering on the attacking side. They've backed him on the attacking side. The attacking side, he's delivering on. It's improved. The ball's just got to go in the net. The ball starts going in the net, we'll win a lot more games, and then will the system still be shit? If we'd have beat Arsenal, which we could and should have, if we'd have thumped Fulham, which we could and should have, like I say, we'd have been sat on 9 points, would the system still be at fault? I don't get it. Whole new front three, hardly played together. Mount's got injured again. Cunha obviously getting injured. Like I say, this just because you pay 200 million, which is nothing in this day and age, nothing. I mean, if you're talking back in the day, 200 million, that's prime Ronaldo, prime Messi, like, but it's different. I mean, these guys are going almost as much as we sold Ronaldo for, and they're not Ronaldo. So you can't just band around a big number and not account for the inflation that's in it as well. But like I say, they're very good players. The front three is improved. It's much better than it was. They're playing nice football at times. Against City, they played nice football at times. But like I say, individual errors, then they're getting nervous and they're in that bad rut and make stupid mistakes. And someone like Haaland's obviously going to punish it. But like I say, if you look at the picture as a whole, it's better. Aside from, we just haven't had the ball full. We haven't put it in the net. But if you keep making that number of chances, you keep doing it week in, week out. If they keep this level of them stats throughout the whole season, they will not finish down in 15th. They won't. They won't. And Buemo will start putting it in, Cunha will start putting it in the net, Sesko will start putting it in the net. Well, if they keep making that number of chances and they don't start scoring goals and they don't start winning football matches, then I don't know how they'd have got to that level of the game, because it has to happen. You can't be that good and keep passing up that number of chances. It's not always going to be bad. Like I say, as long as they keep putting up them numbers, they keep working them chances, they keep putting it into them areas, then the ball's going to go in. And I think there is areas they can improve. Like against City, I don't understand. You've got a 6'5" striker on the pitch. We work it out wide, and the ball's not whipped in the box. And then they move it back, and then it goes back out. And then the moment he goes off the pitch, he starts flinging it in the box. But surely he can't be at fault for that level of dumb, can he? Like, I don't think he'd have said, don't cross it when Sesko's on, but as soon as he comes off, start crossing the ball. He can't. So, anyway, first rant over. To say, obviously there are people with different views on stuff, and that's why I've had to make this, because I've had different views to some other videos I've watched. So there might be people like, oh shut up, they're talking bollocks. But I try to see things with a level head and not let emotion rule things. Like I say, when you win, there's always things you can do better. When you win games, there's always things you can do better. So I'm not saying there's not things they can do better, but what I'm saying is I think everybody just needs to try and relax and not look for instantaneous. I mean, if it was Fergie in this boat now, would everybody be calling for him to go? Yes, they would. And if he'd have gone, then what? We wouldn't have done what we did. So it took him time to change. Him and David Gill, it took them time to change the culture. They had to get rid of all the old lot, the senior players that were embedded in there with the wrong attitude, making the wrong choices, going out drinking. He had to do all of that, and they stuck with him and they got the rewards for it. So guess what I'm saying is, at some point, and I think Ineos know this, and it's why they're backing him, is that sometimes you have to see it through, even if it takes a dip first. So yeah, like I say, I guess I was just sort of venting my thoughts, and yeah, I'll be interested in the opinions of others on it, really. So, but yeah, I just wanted to, have a say. Dora here.